Hi, it's Kerry from Mindful Moves. Today we're going to be talking about self-esteem and its role in learning. Misunderstood children often have a low self-esteem, which affects their attitude, their motivation, their behavior, and of course how they approach life. If you understand anything of the work that we do, that we will know that this has got everything to do with our first functional area. And of course, if we cannot get children to participate in life, and in a place where they feel safe enough to take academic risks as they learn to explore and interact with the world around them, learning cannot take place. Just reading an extract from The TV Kid written by Betsy Byers, the chapter entitled School Days, the Test. And of course, I welcome you to go read it. I've posted it a few times actually on my Facebook page, just because I find the story so powerful. We see a little boy, Lenny, heading into his test, knowing his answers, yet very, very overwhelmed by everything going on. As he goes into this state of anxiety and fear, so we see his profile or learning profile being triggered. We know about that if you know the work that we do. But beyond that, also what we see is him remembering past tests and him actually visualizing himself doing badly, so much so that by the time he gets to this point in the test, the wheels have absolutely come off. And so we just read here, Lenny spun around and glanced in desperation at his test. Only half the blanks were filled. Quickly he began filling the rest, guessing, putting anything down so Miss Markham would see a full, completed sheet when she got to his test. That was bound to make a better impression. Lenny? It was Miss Markham. Yes, He kept writing. He did not have time to look up. I have to have your test now. Yes, The next class is coming in. One more word. In desperation, Lenny kept writing. Cammy Hagedorn was standing by his desk, waiting to take Lenny's seat. Lenny looked up. Hard, huh? Cammy said. Hard for me, Lenny sighed. He got up, dropped his test on Mrs. Markham's desk, and went out into the hall. Shoulders sagging, he went slowly to world studies. Low self-esteem in the classroom, and sadly, as I deal with many children with learning barriers and I get sent questionnaires, we see that this is actually a big part of these questionnaires that will go on with interviews to see what help we can get children. But this really indicates to me that these children are not only having to deal with their learning barrier, however, they're having to deal with huge amounts of anxiety as they don't trust their own body, as well as this idea that they are not good enough. And so, yes, they end up having a low self-esteem on top of all the other problems they are battling with. And so many of these children get the message that they cannot trust their body to do what is right. They feel what is right gets them into trouble. And I think particularly for the kinesthetic right brain learner here, who needs to move and interact with the stuff in a very real, tangible way in order to take that information in. These children can develop behavior problems and tend to already be emotionally young for their age. And this often in our work talks about that second functional area where we're talking about that development of the limbic system. And of course, if you know that, you know what moves we can bring in there. But yes, that's why we're seeing this. This also stops them developing life skills that they need to develop. Why? Because they refuse to explore, they begin to hold back, they don't trust themselves for so many reasons. And of course, learning is all about taking academic risks. And I need to feel secure in who I am, safe in who I am, safe in the support system that I have in order to take an academic or any risk that is in life. This presentation today comes from a course called Concentration, my course that I've set up on Play, Learn, Win. And I absolutely was fascinated by the brain chemistry when thinking about concentration and how children are motivated and encouraged in the class to learn. And so just to give you the tip of the iceberg here, because as I got into all this in-depth research and articles, what I really came to understand was what we bring to the party through our perception of what is happening, our attitude, and the words that we use. So we set in motion, either moving towards the goal or away from it. And this is how we do so. So when we say I can't, inhibiting neurotransmitters are released in the brain to inhibit the action. So that means brain chemistry is released to stop whatever it is that we've just said that we can't do. But when we say I can, neurotransmitters are released to set the motion into action. So to move towards accomplishing whatever it is we've just said that we can. So we must be very careful with the words that we use with regards to our children. And so just a little thing here that I added, I also noticed that many of the questionnaires that ask about a child's lack of questionnaires ask about a child's lack of self-confidence. This is a result rather than a symptom. And these questionnaires, yes, that I'm talking about are when we're trying to find out why, in this respect, a child is battling with concentration. And as I'm saying here, we need to understand this is a secondary effect from everything else that's busy going on. But a very sad realization, isn't it? That now, on top of all of these things, as I said before, this child now is also not believing in themselves and their body's ability to do what is right. I think it's so important that we realize that there are different types of intelligences too as we deal with our kids. And so we need to really honor who they are and find a way to nurture what it is that they are good at so that they can truly find their place in this world. Schooling has tried to provide a platform so that children can go through it and of course have enough academic knowledge to then go out and find their place. However, it also has become quite limiting in the fact that it often pushes for left-brained academic work. And we as parents and teachers need to realize that we have 9 different types of intelligences. Here I've actually only gone up to 8. This is the work of Dr. Howard Gardner, and he lists them as being verbal, bodily kinesthetic, that's usually the kids are really good at sport, musical, intrapersonal, so that's the ability to understand oneself, one's own feelings, mathematical, visual and spatial, interpersonal, so that's the understanding of people and the relationships, and then the naturalist who wants to be outside with the dirt under their nails. The 9th one is the extensionalist, if I've said it right, and they are the people who go on to become our ministers and those type who ask the big questions in life. And so the words of Albert Einstein, school failed me and I failed school. It bored me. The teachers behaved like, and I'm not going to try say that, but like sergeants. I wanted to learn what I wanted to know. But this sentence is very important. But they wanted me to learn for the exam. What I hated most was the competitive system there, and especially sports. Because of this, I wasn't worth anything. And several times they suggested I leave. And that, of course, coming from Albert Einstein. So can we imagine knowing the brilliance of Albert Einstein, him not being able to be seen at school level, for his intelligence to be recognized? And I think I take off my hat to him and people similar to him who have really battled at school, but in life have gone on to succeed. And again, we need to understand that there are many such kids sitting in our class who do not have the perseverance to push through such a system. And so, yes, we absolutely need to again get back to that place where we're looking at children, seeing the good in them, and start showing them for themselves so that they can believe in what it is that they are, who they are, and go on to succeed in life. Spoken about this before, and so I won't spend too much time on this, but we also then as a schooling system need to ask, how do we then show these children that they are valued? What is it that we need to reward? Do we need to reward academic excellence, top 10, only first in a subject, those who can get over a certain percentage in each subject? Or perhaps should we look at a system, yes, like a school where I taught, where there was a book prize for academics, a prize for improvement, and then 8 other certificates handed out for the teacher to choose, with the idea that they could choose for congeniality, kindness, diligence, perseverance, best speeches, trustworthiness, loyalty, creativity, friendliness, and even the drama. And so what I would definitely do if I was this teacher is go back into those 9 intelligences and try and find children within each and see if I could honor their type too. What I like about also rewarding the character and the quality is that if I reward that, that's what I want to see more of, and that's what I will see more of. We are bound to fail in life. We are bound to get a test where we do worse than our 70 usual percent, and then we will not be recognized if that's the case. But if I have perseverance, I can get up, dust myself off, and continue no matter what bump in the road I've hit. Again, just sharing this, so how can we reach out so that children can be valued? And we've got our 5 love languages. I just like to translate, like, how would this look in the class? And so physical touch in the class would be the handshake. You've seen many people doing a handshake coming into class, special one for each child. I love there's also one where the child gets to choose from pictures if they want a high five, a hug, a bow, a handshake. And so they can touch the picture and then the teacher will respond in the way they choose. But yes, high fives, pats on the back, an elbow in today's life. Quality time, so spending one-on-one time with the child, so allowing for that conversation at break. I know it's the time you want to spend by yourself and eat your lunch in peace, but this might be the child who's approached you and wants to tell you about their week. And you might need to allow for that space where they can connect with you in that way. Teaching is an act of service, so treat it as an act of service. Be cheerful, be of good cheer. Come to the party. Don't be grumpy. Don't be harmful in the way you approach the kids. Again, absolutely loved a post I saw on Facebook where this man literally smiles before he heads into the classroom, and they've caught him on the surveillance camera, and he does this every day so that he walks into the class with a smile on his face. And of course, we know when we change our body language, we change our behavior and our attitude. So in doing so, puts himself in a better space. Receiving gifts could be stickers, merits, trophy, Goodwick stamps, even the sweet. Children love that. And then words of affirmation, so spoken or the written comment. And so the sticker in the book, the gold star with well done, keep it up, would be actually covering 2 of these in one go. I think if we can incorporate as many as possible into our lesson, it means that we are reaching each and every one of those children where they're at, on a level and through the love language that they most enjoy. Another quote from Bruce Lee, very important about speaking again. So don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life. What you are not changing, you are also choosing. Very powerful words. So let's choose better words and let's choose to change our life. So on the left-hand side, we see words that are quite stressful for our body and mind, and words on the right are probably better options to try and use. So just with the first one, imagine if I said, please stand up, and we did so. And then I said, please stand down, please sit down. And then I said, please try stand up. Can you imagine the different, or can you feel the different response within you? That all of a sudden there's a hesitation as to why would this be hard? And that's the power of the word try, and it's quite a negative power. So trying is effortful and it causes strain. Whereas if I say I will do my best, it means no matter the situation, whether I'm tired, whether I'm awake, I can take the resources I have available to me at that time, and I can only do my best with it. And we can't expect more, can we? We can only ever do our best. So let's see other ones. So instead of stretch, we could use reach or lengthen. I hope, I plan, I trust, I want, I will or I plan to, I cannot remember, I forget, or I forgot. I will remember. I can never finish. I'm not yet finished. I quit. I'm giving myself some space, or I'm taking a break. I have a problem. I'm exploring possibilities. I'm having an experience of, and then I can name the feeling so that it remains a feeling and not an identity. I'm focusing on meeting a challenge. I hate. I prefer something else. You never. Let's. I failed. I haven't succeeded yet. I'm sorry. So we could say, excuse me, or we could say, instead of I'm saying sorry, when we say I'm sorry for what you're going through, we can say I feel for what you're going through. Or even better, we can say, how can I assist? If, we can rather use the word when, but, and yet, should, shall, will, and plan to. And here, last little tip for today. I'm sick, or I'm in pain, I'm experiencing, and then you can describe the feeling or sensation. And remembering again that experiencing is temporary, but if I use the words I am or I'm taking that on as a part of my identity, and I can never change my identity. So very careful with words like I am depressed, I am sad. Please, in that last one, be very mindful and say I am feeling depressed or I'm feeling sad, because even as I just speak that out now, I'm sure you can see the difference it has on our thinking. Thanks for listening, and to find out about these things and much more, go take a look at our website, www.mindfulmoves.co.za.